it has been a while since I've provided an update on the 100-100 challenge. I think it's been about a month since the last update. And that's because I've been very busy on other things. I simply haven't had the time to put into anything. But in that time, a lot has happened. So I'll try to give you a quick update today and just let you know what's happened, why it's happened, and as you can see on screen here, how it's going. The last update I provided would have been at around day 40. You can see I was a little bit down here in equity, although balance is up. So I had some open trades that were dragging me down. They came good, and I got back up to 8.42% in profit, and then everything went badly. And this is a combination of several things. I had, as I said, been very busy on other things, so I simply didn't have the time to put into watching these trades. The markets also were getting ready for the potential tariff changes, and there was a lot of uncertainty, and the markets simply were not moving the way that I had been prepared for. And I got into some trades, and they simply went very badly, and I simply reached a point where I said it's not worth trying to get out of this. I'll just hold these trades and see what happens. Now, by pure luck, when the tariffs happened, everything went well. Those trades came back. Not only did they come back to a break even, I made a significant profit. And since then, I've been making steady profits to the point where I am now at a balance of, let me just check, I'm now at a balance of $178. So that's $78 in profit out of my $100 initial investment. And this is at the end of day 62. So I'm actually more than 1% per day up. So let's describe a little bit about what's been happening there. I did realize that around this point that the markets were not doing what I was expecting, and the way I was trading was simply not working. It was primarily because I would identify trends, but the market would snap back and then move in the direction of the trend. So it was becoming far more volatile, and I was being taken out by the market snapping back, where if I'd simply held on, I would have made more of a profit. So I changed my trading approach, and instead of looking at hourly charts, I began looking at daily charts. Now, daily charts obviously have a much bigger move, but they also tend to identify the trend better. So I started trading on the daily charts with much bigger stop loss and much bigger take profit. I also implemented an approach where I was simply relying on trailing stop to exit trades. And I created a small expert advisor that would apply that trailing stop automatically. As soon as I opened a trade, it would begin applying the trailing stop. And it would apply it as a ratio, so it would apply a profit to loss ratio. So I simply set the trailing stop to give me a 2-to-1 with profit to loss ratio, and it would then make sure that wherever the price was, the stop loss was half of the distance away that the take profit was. So a bit different to a traditional stop loss where I stay a fixed distance away from the exit. I don't know if that was necessarily a good trailing stop approach or a bad one, but it has worked so far, to the point where today I am actually ahead of target at the end of day 62. So I have 38 days remaining, and I'm already at 78% profit. So as long as I don't do anything stupid again like I did with the gold trade and then some of the aggressive trading I was doing after that to try to make up, then I might be on track to make the 100% by day 100. Going back to my history here, so you can see here I had trades closed on the 14th, and then obviously the weekend, 15th and 16th of March, and then back into trading on the 17th. Small profits, small losses, and then I started trading based on a trailing stop approach on the dailies. So you can see the numbers begin to become larger here, a $6 profit, and these are hitting the stop loss more often than they're hitting the take profit. Here's quite a big profit on one trade. And the concept behind that is that if I simply apply take profits at say 100 or 150 points, then that's all I make. But by applying a much bigger take profit and letting the trade run, I have the opportunity to participate in some bigger price movements. So here I am at the beginning of day 63. But if I look at the markets, I'm not convinced that they are going to continue. I've been doing a lot of buy trades lately, simply because these prices have been going up following the tariff changes, but it's looking like everything is leveling out. I might just be quiet for a few days, or if I see an opportunity, I might take one. But I think I'm looking at a period of potential uncertainty now, and I don't know which way these markets are going to go. They're very horizontal, and it's easy to take a trade and go in the wrong direction. I'll be looking for maybe some extremes. So if I looked at this dollar Swiss, I might be buying at this bottom level to see if that will go up again. I certainly wouldn't be selling at this top level because there's a potential for the price to continue further up. Of course, there's a potential for it to go further down. It just looks more likely to rise from here. So that's where I am. The end of day 63, $78 in profit, and as long as I'm careful, I'm not looking too bad for hitting $100 profit at the 100-day mark. But as I said, I am quite busy, so I'm going to be using more of these trades where I simply place them and then leave them to be managed, because I just don't have the time to monitor trades throughout the day now. Still, we'll see where we go. I will try to provide some more regular updates, and to be honest, when I looked at the chart at this point, I somewhat gave up. I decided that I was so far behind that I was never going to make this, and so I simply left the trades to run. Now, they could have easily gone further down at this point and blown the account. I was lucky that they didn't and went the other way. That was luck rather than planning, and it's not necessarily an approach I would recommend for anyone. And way back, I think in the very first episode of this series, I said that some people will trade small accounts simply because it's pocket money that they want to play with. Some people, $100 is a lot of money to them, and this might be all they have. In that case, you need to be much more careful than I have been here in my trading. So remember, click like, click subscribe, and until next time, thank you for watching.